Chapter 604, Progression. This chapter is updated by Novels.pl. Zhang Yuochen smiled and glanced at the evil warriors. He asked, "Why are you calling me the Great Guardian?" Jigui bowed and knelt in front of Zhang Yuochen. She smiled and said, "Red Wish Emissary has granted you the position of the Great Guardian. From now on, the Great Guardian is the Deputy Chief of Red Willow Heights. All of us shall obey your orders." Zhang Yuochen carefully sized up Jigui. He was surprised that Jigui was no longer arrogant. This implies that Red Wish Emissary was a man of means. She could even change the attitude of a half-cent of the seventh change in the Fish-Dragon realm. Continue. Zhang Yuochen had no interest in acquiring the Great Guardian title. He shook his head and walked toward the gate. He went into his room without reporting to Red Wish Emissary. He then entered the scroll world to continue practicing. The death of Blue Star Emissary was just the beginning. The real storm was coming. Zhang Yuochen must become stronger to be able to take on more strenuous challenges. Initially, Zhang Yuochen took out the Sword 1. But after glancing through 2 pages, he decided to call it quits. Zhang Yuochen could not focus on comprehending the sword technique before killing Di Yi. The content in Sword 1 was ingenious. One would not be able to understand the quintessence of the book without first achieving inner peace. "I'll just continue to work on my cultivation and strive to attain the 4th change in the Fish-Dragon realm." One could only trigger the first holy meridian by achieving the 4th change in the Fish-Dragon realm. This would allow them to circulate the genuine Qi into the holy Qi, enabling them to display the 36 change technique. Zhang Yuochen relied solely on his strong spiritual power and metal mask to conceal his identity. Yet he was treading on thin ice since his identity might be exposed at any time. Mulinx, I met him before and had suspected that it was him. If he met a half-cent from the black market, his identity would surely be exposed. Only by displaying the 36 changes could he perfectly hide his identity. The 4th change in the Fish-Dragon realm. Zhang Yuochen said this with a dignified expression. Zhang Yuochen must practice the 4th change in the Fish-Dragon realm before Di Yi arrived at the Cyan Cloud County. He took a box from the spatial ring and opened it. Inside it was a mass of golden inferno that emitted an incredible amount of heat, as though a small golden sun had been released. With a radius of about 333 meters, the inferno turned into a few fireballs and floated in midair. They then turned into a fire domain. It was the spirit treasure of the fire nature, the source of spiritual fire. Zhang Yuochen had already reached the 3rd change in the Fish-Dragon realm. He could start refining the source of spiritual fire. There were 5 types of treasure bodies: gold, wood, water, fire, and earth. Zhang Yuochen had successfully practiced into 3 kinds of treasure bodies, thus achieving the level of treasured body of 3 spirits. If he could practice into the treasured body of fire spirit, he would be promoted as the 4-spirit treasured body. The treasured body of 3 spirits was already as powerful as a saintly being. How powerful would a 4-spirit treasured body be? It is difficult to practice into the 4-spirit treasured body, but I could absorb the source of spiritual fire to promote my cultivation instead. Zhang Yuochen released the space domain, using it to completely wrap up the source of spiritual fire within 333 meters. He then mobilized the 5th exercise of the scripture of Emperor Ming's Empyrean and absorbed them. Zhang Rukan isolated himself to practice, as did Di Yi, who was at the evil Emperor city. He was refining the holy source, which would allow him to achieve the 2nd change in the Fish-Dragon realm. Di Yi achieved the realm without much effort 7 days later. It was supposed to be a joyful occasion for him, but he received a signal flare from the Cyan Cloud County that same day. His cheery mood faded immediately. Di Yi smiled coldly once he saw the flaring talisman. He clenched his fists, crushing the flaring talisman that was made of jade. The talisman turned into jade powder and slipped through his fingers. Like a ghost, the purple wind emissary rushed inside. He saw the somber look on Di Yi's face and assumed that Di Yi's attempt at breaking through the realm had failed. He asked, "Young master, what happened?" Di Yi stood up. His eyes were filled with uncertainty. He snorted coldly and said to himself, "How interesting. The Blue Star Emissary had fallen into his hands too. He's nothing short of being great. The Blue Star Emissary is dead?" The Purple Wind Emissary was in disbelief. He remained skeptical. "That's correct, Di Yi answered with certainty. How is that possible? Red Wish Emissary is nothing compared to Blue Star Emissary's cultivation. Besides, where did Red Wish Emissary pick up such bravery to allegedly kill an emissary? Di Yi answered, a secret organization under the black market brought this news to me. It must be true. Who do you think killed Blue Star Emissary? Purple Wind Emissary doubtfully asked. Was Red Wish Emissary not the killer? There is a disciple of the Heaven Realm in the Yin and Yang sect. His name is Lin Yue. Di Yi looked somber, although there was a faint smile on his face. People who knew Di Yi understood that Di Yi was outraged. The emissary was cultivated and trained by the Black Market Excellence Hall. She was regarded as the cream of the crop, yet was killed by a warrior of the Heaven Realm. Isn't that funny? Cold air exuded from Purple Wind Emissary. He said in a tone filled with animosity, I'll go to the Cyan Cloud County now. His head must be brought back to the evil Emperor City. Di Yi glanced at Purple Star Emissary and scolded her. You want to kill the warrior of the Heaven Realm with your current cultivation? You're joking, right? Someone must avenge Blue Star Emissary's death. Not only am I going to the Cyan Cloud County to kill the Heaven Realm warrior, Lin Yue, but I will also make sure that the Yin and Yang sect pay the price. Di Yi shook his head and said calmly, there's no need to be reckless. The truth may not be as simple as you think. The death of Blue Star Emissary might have nothing to do with Red Wish Emissary. Purple Wind Emissary was slightly shocked and said, you're implying that Red Wish Emissary joined forces with the Yin and Yang and killed Blue Star Emissary so that she will have a reason to continue staying at the Cyan Cloud County. Di Yi rubbed his temple. He was in deep thought and said, that's not true. If Red Star Emissary does cooperate with the Yin and Yang sect, there is no need for them to use a warrior of the Heaven Realm as a scapegoat. No one would believe that a warrior of the Heaven Realm is capable of killing Blue Star Emissary who is in the 6th change of the Fish Dragon Realm. Purple Wind Emissary said, maybe Red Wish Emissary was being deceitful. She might have wanted to redirect our focus to the Yin and Yang sect's Heaven Realm warrior. In doing so, no one will ever suspect her as the culprit. Di Yi felt a dangerous aura out of nowhere. He said with a serious look on his face, we must investigate this matter thoroughly. If Red Wish Emissary really does cooperate secretly with the Yin and Yang sect, then we must eliminate her immediately. Purple Wind Emissary asked for Di Yi's permission and said, young master, allow me to set foot on the Cyan Cloud County. I'll make sure that Lin Yue and Red Wish Emissary will be dead within a month. No. This is all rather strange. I must go there myself. Di Yi frowned. This was the first time he felt threatened since the death of Zhang Yuochen. The difference was that the person he got rid of was Zhang Yuochen, but now, the person he must deal with is Red Wish Emissary. Until now, Di Yi paid sufficient attention, making him view Red Wish Emissary as a threat. Zhang Yuochen practiced in the scroll world for half a month. He refined a sizable source of spiritual fire into his body, allowing his body to achieve saturation. Although he was far from achieving the 4-spirit treasured body, his cultivation improved a lot. He was almost at the mid-stage of the 3rd change in the Fish Dragon Realm. During practice, Zhang Yuochen found out that after he absorbed the source of spiritual fire, the mysterious embryo below his navel increased by 10% of its size and was more stable. If Zhang Yuochen could practice and attain the 4-spirit treasured body, the mysterious embryo could fully form, turning into the 2nd Qi. However, Rome was not built in a day. Zhang Yuochen had to progress gradually. Only by reaching a higher realm could he successfully practice into the 4-spirit treasured body. Zhang Yuochen was very confident about acquiring the 4-spirit treasured body. Dragon and Elephant Furnace. Throughout the next few days, Zhang Yuochen continued training to succeed in practicing the Dragon and Elephant Prajna Palm. Zhang Yuochen would practice the palm technique at least 800 times a day to the point of exhaustion. He would then consume the flood dragon blood of half-saint to restore his genuine qi. As a result, Zhang Yuochen could feel his cultivation improving rapidly day by day. After practicing for 12 days, Zhang Yuochen finally succeeded in practicing the 7th Dragon and Elephant Prajna Palm. At the same time, his cultivation improved immensely. allowing him to achieve the mid-stage of the third change in the Fish Dragon realm. If I can refine a drop of Xuanwu sacred blood, it will allow my cultivation to break through to the peak of the third change in the Fish Dragon realm. As long as I can achieve the peak of the third change in the Fish Dragon realm, I will be able to attempt opening the first holy meridian. Once I succeed, achieving the fourth change in the Fish Dragon realm is within my reach. However, refining the Xuanwu sacred blood was dangerous and time-consuming. The last time Zhang Yuochen refined a drop of the Xuanwu sacred blood, it allowed his cultivation to promote from the first change in the Fish Dragon realm to the second change in the Fish Dragon realm. But it took him half a year to complete the process of refining Xuanwu sacred blood. Although Zhang Yuochen's cultivation was already in the third change in the Fish Dragon realm, thus improving his speed in refining the Xuanwu sacred blood, he still required at least 4 months to fully refine a drip of the Xuanwu sacred blood. 4 months in the picture scroll world was equivalent to 12 days in the external world. Zhang Yuochen had to stay in the scroll world for 12 days without being disrupted. However, a lot could happen in 12 days. No accidents could happen before killing Di Yi. After much contemplation, Zhang Yuochen felt that secluding himself in the Red Willow Heights was not appropriate. He had to find a way out. After 12 days, it would not be too late to return to the Red Willow Heights after his cultivation had broken through to the peak of the third change in the Fish Dragon realm.